You are on bond for criminal mischief. You've now picked up a new case. You now stand charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, will be appointed to you, sir.
On April 26, 2025, a law enforcement officer is on patrol and observed a motor vehicle run a red light and make a U-turn, nearly striking another vehicle in Harris County, Texas. The officer observed the motor vehicle drive onto the curb of Richmond Avenue and initiated a traffic stop. The defendant passed multiple open parking lots and continued to drive. The defendant eventually pulled into a business parking lot. The law enforcement officer contacted the defendant and observed him to be eating fried chicken. The law enforcement officer asked the defendant why he didn't lower the window, and the defendant stated he didn't have anything and continued to eat. The law enforcement officer observed the defendant did not have a driver's license and was incoherent when asked to provide his name and date of birth. Law enforcement eventually identified the defendant by name and date of birth. The defendant continued to state, "I don't have anything on question about his whereabouts," and standardized physical sobriety tests were conducted. The officer observed 2 out of 6 clues in the HGN, 5 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and 0 out of 4 on the one leg stand. 0 out of 4 on the one leg stand due to the defendant being unable to perform the test. The law enforcement officer noted that on the walk and turn, the defendant did not turn around, and he stayed still for approximately 30 seconds. The law enforcement officer explained the one leg stand, and after the instructions, the defendant began performing the walk. This occurrence happened again after the law enforcement officer tried to explain the one leg stand another time. The law enforcement officer observed 2 unopened 6-packs of alcoholic beverages that were cold to the touch, and observed an empty fuzzball and a 24-ounce can Modelo beer and an empty Twisted Tea alcoholic beverage. The defendant refused, both breath and blood. A blood warrant was signed and executed.
Mr. Juarez, I'm going to find that there's enough probable cause to go forward with your case. You said he doesn't have a license, right?
There's a number here, Your Honor. I'm unsure if that meant that he did not have the license at the time.
Mind running it, please?
Yes, Judge. Your Honor, he does have an eligible driver's license.
I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I've ordered you not to pick up any new cases, not to violate conditions of bond, and you have repeatedly done that. As a result, I'm now revoking your bond on the first case, and you will go to jail today. And I'm going to tell you, you violate conditions again, I'm going to make the bond so high your head will be spinning. Do you understand? You're not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, and I will put a scram on your ankle so I know that you're not consuming. Do you understand?
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, sir.
On the first case, the court previously was testing Mr. Juarez 2 times a week, and he was doing pretty good on that for an extended period of time. In lieu of revoking his bond, would the court consider going back to bi-weekly testing?
No. He picked up a serious case. He has alcohol in the car. He's allegedly consuming while he's driving. I would figure that it's damn elementary that you're not to have alcohol in the car while you are driving. And there are multiple open containers, cold to the touch. Now, I have to show you that we mean business. And me letting you go again when you have multiple violations, it's not going to happen. You go to jail. I don't know what we're going to do when he bonds out, Michael, as far as testing now. I don't know. But
I understand, Judge.
I'm going to order him not to drive as well. He's got alcohol in the... No.